mobility, flexibility. That's what you want. You just want to feel better. And if that's what you want, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jan. This is Piper. And this is your yoga from home. This is where you do it from the privacy of your own home. And the best part about that is you can wear what you want. You don't have the commute. You can do it your way. No, it's a no judgment zone. But do what is right for your body. That's the most important thing. If something hurts, back out of it. Don't do it. Take it to a lesser percentage. I say it every day. And you got to do it every day. You got to do your yoga every day too, but you got to listen to your body and don't let it hurt. If something is painful, it's just not right for you. You're not supposed to be doing it right now or maybe ever. Maybe you're just not anatomically capable of doing that, and that's fine too. Just do what is right for you so you have greater flexibility and mobility in your one and only unique body. The word to think about today is harmony, and harmony means when things come together, when you find that perfect peace, when things come together. And with endurance and encouragement, it's within reach. It's in reach for all of us. All right, so props. You're going to need some props today. The props you're going to need are your 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have any of these, that's okay too. You modify, right? So maybe some books, 2 large books would work, or maybe nothing at all, and you just try. Have some water nearby. That's always handy to wet your whistle as you go on. A little eye shade or a little hand towel. A hand towel can work as an eye shade as well for your final Shavasana. And the towel can slip under your knees when we do our lunges if you like that. Maybe you got a big old towel. That would be good too. A strap or a belt to your robe, or a jump rope, or a dog leash. Everybody's got those around, right? You can have that as well. You can use the strap and a resistance band. This is a month of doing resistance bands. So if you don't have a resistance band, that's fine too. It's like a big rubber band, and they're not very expensive. You can buy a whole set of them with different degrees of resistance on the internet. So if you don't have it, that's all right. We'll work through it. Just move. That's it. Find your mobility, find your flexibility, and come on up to standing. So you got your props. Stress number. We always do this every day too. Lock in a stress number on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever works for you. Where are you on that continuum right now in this moment? Where are you? Lock that stress number in. Nothing's holding you back. Let's just go. All right, our little warm-up, our usual warm-up. Hands are on your hips, or you can have a chair right here and you're leaning against it. Hey, maybe even the wall. Your hand is pressed into the wall. Come on up onto your toes and then down on your heels. As you're doing this, think about your breathing. Take some big breaths in through your nose and big sighing breaths out through your mouth. Make it audible. Let it go. So come up higher onto your toes and try to keep your heels directly behind your toes. Maybe you don't come very high, or maybe you play with it and come up high and hold it for a second or two. And then work down onto your heels and lift your toes up and give them a wiggle. So just find a solid foundation beneath you in your feet. We start from the ground on up. Plant your feet solidly on your mat. Lift your arms up to the sky. Maybe a bend in your elbows feels better. Breathe, lift here. This is your extended mountain pose. Lengthen up, let your chest open up to the front of the room. Breathe, look up, reach your fingers a little higher, and then interlace your fingers. Send your palms high up to the sky and start to sway gently from side to side. This is your palm tree pose. In your palm tree pose, chin is away from your chest, and you're sideways moving your spine. Just breathe. Think of the length in your side body as you reach to one side, then the other. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Come back to the midline of your body. Maybe release your hands down to your low back. Fingers can be down, or you can have your fingers up toward your back. Look at that dog, isn't she silly? All right, so press your hands into your low back. This is a little bit harder to press with your fingers up toward the sky. See if you like it. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Push your hips forward and take a little back bend. Doesn't have to be far. This is your first one of the practice, so just enjoy it. Let it feel good. Exhale the air out of your lungs. Remove your hands from behind your low back and hinge forward. Let your belly come toward your thighs. Let your crown of your head come toward the earth. Maybe you put your hands behind your calves and fold your body in half. Breathe. A little bend in your knees might feel good. Inhale, arms sweep up, and you come back to the extended mountain pose. Lift out of here, reach. Let's do some big arm circles accompanied with knee bends. All right, so do the arms first. Circle them around, maybe to the back of the room. And I don't know how big your circles are. Do what feels good for your shoulders. As you're doing this, when the arms are up, your knees are straight. When the arms come down, bend your knees. As if you're water skiing, right? It's that time of year. Breathe. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Big arm circles. Really feel it. Take your arm circles in the opposite direction now. Breathe. Every day our practices are different. Join us every day for something different. And I design all our practices so they all work together to make you more flexible, more mobile, and stronger. Finish up. Come up to a standing position. Arms down by your sides. Close your eyes for a moment. Just find your balance, your strength right here. Take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Big coat circle. Or big coat swing. All right, just change the name. Combine the poses. Sway gently from side to side. Look over your shoulder. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever works for you. You know, if they're closed, you're challenging your balance a little bit more. Let your shoulders be loose, away from your ears. Just, tap one hip, then the other. And remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Most important part. All right, so we've moved our spine sideways, forward, back. Now we're twisting. We're going to do one more big fold in our Ragdoll Pose. Great for your low back. And Dwayne and I added another series to our back pain series, so check it out. All right. Finish up, slow the arms down, come back to standing. Let's do Ragdoll Pose. Maybe close your eyes just because you can. Close the eyes, hinge forward at the waist, hands to opposite elbow creases. Toe heel your feet about hip width distance apart. Let your head hang heavy. No rush here, no hurry here. Just feel what you feel. Take it to where it feels the best. Little bend in your knees might feel good. Bring your chest to your thighs. Gaze back to your knees or even higher up towards your navel as the crown of your head is toward the earth. Maybe give your toes a wiggle and then start to sway gently from side to side. And this pose, I really think you can feel immediately, just the release in the low back. Think of broadening in the low back. Think of no tension. Think of space. Where there's space, there's movement. There's flexibility. There's mobility. Breathe. We do this quickly in our little warm-up because it's just like a little wake-up call to your body that we're going to be moving in our yoga. But when you do your Ragdoll Pose, do it for longer. Do it for a couple minutes, maybe. Let's finish up. Come back to the midline of your body. Just assess how it feels right now. Big breath in, big sighing breath out, and then release your hands to your mat. Bend your knees and come on down into a child's pose. You know child's pose really well. We do it in just about every practice. You can have your blocks here to help you. 1, 2, 3, however many blocks. Knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back toward your heels as far as you like. The blocks can be here to bring the ground up to you. You can place your chest, your forehead on the block. If your knees are together, bring your arms down by your sides, palms up, and let your fingers reach toward the bottom of your mat. Feel the big stretch. Feel your shoulders away from your ears as you're kind of curled up into a little ball. Big breath in, big breath out. An option is your extended child's pose. Knees can be spread wide, big toes touching each other, hips back to the heels, and arms reaching to the top of your mat. You can sink down to the blocks here as well, or if you don't want to use the blocks in either variation, sink your forehead down to your mat. Big breath in, big breath out. Just breathe. There's no formula for what you have to do. You do what feels good for you. Maybe it feels good to work the knees a little farther apart. Stretch, reach, find length in your body. Length and stretching and mobility and flexibility may have been or maybe is elusive right now. but you're coming back to your mat. If you do your yoga every day, if you stretch every day, and if you breathe through it and just take this time for you, it'll come back really quickly. You'll be very satisfied. Lengthen your tailbone to the back of the room. Lengthen the crown of your head to the front of the room. Shake your head as if you're saying no, and massage your forehead into your mat. When you're ready, let's engage what's called Ujjayi Pranayama breath. That's closing your lips and breathing in and out of your nose if that works for you. You know, it is the most efficient way to breathe. Try it. If it doesn't work, breathe any way that does work. Don't overhold your breath, and don't take shallow breaths. If your breath's getting shallow, you know that it's time to back out of a pose, and don't stress out over it. Chin back to the midline, forehead back to the midline of your body, finding stillness. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's come on up to a neutral tabletop position. If you like your child's pose, stay there longer. You decide. In your neutral tabletop position, let's do some cat-cows. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky, back to the spine again. Inhale, cow pose, tailbone lifts, crown of your head lifts. Do a few of these. Do it to your breath. Exhale, your navel goes to your spine, your back arches up like a Halloween cat. Inhale, cow. Tailbone lifts, crown of the head lifts. So you're moving not only your neck, you're moving your tailbone. Spine is curving like the letter C, forward and backward in one direction then the other. And then finish up neutral tabletop position. Extend your right leg long. Press the ball of your right foot into your mat. Stretch the back of your leg here. Push hard into your hands. Really let that stretch feel great. When you're ready, lift the right leg up, cross it over the midline of the body, squeeze in your upper inner thighs, place the top of the right foot down on the left side of your mat, push hard into your hands, feel the nice stretch all along your right side, and then gaze over your left shoulder, back to your toes, to your ankle, toward your knee, toward your bottom. Breathe. Open up, sending the right leg nice and long out to the right side of your body. Bring the foot to about hip height, place it down. Lift your right arm up to the sky, twist. Breathe, take that arm past the midline. How does it feel? Bring it on down, let's do it again. Bring your right knee, sweep it around to the left side of your body. Look over your left shoulder, look back at the foot. We're gonna do this 3 times, this being the second. Sweep the leg around to a natural position to the right. Bring it as high up as you like, maybe to about hip height or whatever, and then bring your arm on up. If you don't try, you're not going to get there. So every little bit, don't criticize yourself. One more time, sweep it around. Do, just try. Sweep it around again, extend it long. Arm lifts, breathe. Finish up, bring it on down, bring the leg back to meet the other knee on the mat. You're in a neutral tabletop, let's do it again on the other side. Extend your left leg long, plant the ball of the left foot onto your mat. Press into your mat, send the weight back into the heel, feeling the extension and the length in the back of your left leg. Cross it over the midline of your body, gaze over your right shoulder, look back to the foot. Maybe you can see the knee, maybe you look up to your bottom. Sweep the left leg around to its natural position. Plant the left foot, open up your left arm high to the sky, look up to your hand. Plant the hand, let's do it again. Sweep the leg around, look over your right shoulder, look as far as you can. Sweep the leg around, lift the left arm up, maybe take it across the midline of the body, reach, open up through your chest. Hand comes down, leg swings around. One more time, I think this is 3 times and that'll be it. Sweep it around, open it up. Open the left arm up, look up, breathe. Oh, be glad for the movement that you do have. Left knee meets right. Nice job. Let's do bird dog pose. Press into the earth, neutral tabletop. Start with the right leg. Lift it up. Bring the knee to about hip height. Dial the right hip down. Then extend the right leg long, driving your heel to the back wall. Press into the earth. You can stay right here. Ooh, don't you feel the strengthening in your low back? You can stay right here or add in the left arm for a little balance. So really press into the earth with the top of your left foot and your right hand to hold it here. Reach, stretch, lengthen through your entire spine. A little variation here, if you like, you can bend the right knee and the left elbow and have them touch under your navel and then stretch it out again. So you're challenging your balance here. Last little thing you could do is take your left hand, capture under your right knee, and draw your nose towards your knee, and then reach and stretch it out. So do a couple of these, whatever speaks to you. Just find your length. Don't scrimp on the length. Push into the mat and really reach. Finish up, hand meets the other hand, knee meets the other knee on your mat. Another side. Lift your left leg up. Lift it a little higher, knee to about hip height. Dial the left hip down. Extend the left leg long. Take it in layers. Do what feels really good for you. Strengthen that low back here. Drive through the heel. If you would like to challenge your balance, raise your right arm up. Reach it to the front of your mat. Bird dog pose. I like it when the poses look just like what they say. Drive through your heel and your fingertips. Reach, press. You can stay right here or elbow to knee a couple times. Reach and stretch. Don't skimp on the stretching. Maybe if you like, right hand captures left knee and you draw your nose to your knee. Stretch, reach. And when you're ready, let's finish up. Hands come down, knees come down. How did you do in that bird dog stretch? Forearms, let's love on them a little bit. Bring your fingertips back to your knees so your forearms are shining forward. Just move your hips sideways, back and forth to feel a nice stretch in your forearms. Take it as deep as you like. Maybe you come back even farther, pressing on up into the fingers. But you know what feels good. Breathe and don't hurt. If you remember, if you're breathing shallowly or quickly, it means not for you. It means you're stressing out. Don't stress out. Let this feel good. We all do so much computer work. This feels really, really good to stretch out the forearms. All right, let's finish up here. Bring your hands back to a natural position. Wiggle your fingers and wrists to get rid of those tinglies. And then let's do toes pose. Now, you can do this a couple ways. Come to standing on your knees. Tuck your toes to your shins. Place your block behind your heels, and you can just hang out here as long as it isn't painful. If it's uncomfortable, you can do this. The stretching is doing its thing if it's a little uncomfortable. If it hurts, come out of it. Or just take the weight off your feet. I'm going to sit back on my heels today, and I'm not going to stay here very long because I'm going to go between the toes pose, which is this, and the ankle stretch. So I think mentally it just allows you to take it deeper and know I'm coming out of this soon, so I'm really going to try. So rest into your feet in your toes pose, and then untuck your toes, having the tops of your feet on your mat, and then press back into the ankles and let the knees lift up. You could, use your blocks to hold on to give you some stability here. You decide, knees pop up, and just feel the good stretch in the ankles. Let it feel good for a little bit. Maybe hands to prayer center, and then come back to your toes pose. Tuck your toes under, hang out here for a little bit. Hi to Pamela, how are you? I'm glad you're here. Tammy, good to see you, and Max, Esther, Lynn, Stan, Betty, Barbara, Kelly, Tim, Marina, Canel, good to see you. Linda, Elaine, Kelly, Roger, good you're here. All right, maybe tops of your feet are on your mat. Press on back, stretch your ankles out. How are you doing? Hey, there's a birthday in the group too. Happy birthday to Diana. All right, one more toes pose here. And Liz, I saw your wonderful information about the sea turtles. That's exciting. All right, one more ankle pose. You're just finding your range of motion and what feels good for you. All right, finish up. Let's come to a neutral tabletop and wiggle the feet. Wiggle your toes, circle your ankles, tap your feet out on your mat. And we're done there. It's time for our core. All right, so throwback. Just every month, almost every practice, we do a plank pose of some variation because plank builds strength. All right, so let's get into whatever plank variation you want to do. Never done plank before. Let's start with a nice variation. Knees kind of spread, arms like a tabletop, but work your arms forward. You adjust your knees so it feels right, and then send the weight more into your hands so your shoulders are over your wrists. You could hold right here and call this your plank for the day. You can drop down to your forearms. You can send your knees back and hold on here in a dolphin plank, having your elbows underneath your shoulders. That's a fine variation too. There's a lot of different variations you can take, but you decide which one you want to do while I set a timer for 1 minute. You don't have to stay here for the full minute. Maybe a high plank, shoulders over wrists, and you hold. I'm going to take a dolphin plank today for something different. Get in place, I'll set the timer, and I'll let you know when to go. All right, so in the dolphin plank I'm doing, I'm up off of my knees. You could be down on your knees too. Elbows underneath your shoulders, hands spread wide, you're 10 seconds in. Take a break whenever you need to by dropping to your knees or just coming out of it. You decide because it's your practice. You do it your way. You're 20 seconds in. Think about your belly. Re-engage your core. Stay strong in your stomach. Press into your mat nice and hard and firm. You are 30 seconds into this. You've done it for 30 seconds already. Maybe that's enough for today. Don't over push yourself. Encourage yourself. Do what you can with what you've got. 40 seconds, guys. We've got it. Only 20 seconds to go. Breathe. Lengthen through your spine, through the crown of your head, through your tailbone. Less than 10 seconds to go. You can do anything for 10 seconds. Hold on. Press into the earth. You've got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Come down to your knees. Come down to your seat. Grab a drink of water. You did a 1 minute plank. Most excellent. Try it. Every day, try something new. All right, we're going to do something new too with our strap. Drink. And then we're going to do a fun little sequence with our lunges. I think you'll like it. I don't think we've done it here before. All right, let's start. Turn off the timer. And just, those little time hacks. Just how long can you hold your plank? How long do you want to hold it? But know that you're building strength. Have your strap or your resistance band nearby, or nothing at all, that's fine too. Place it at about shoulder height. All right, so we did our plank. Now let's do a boat pose. All right, so come to seated. Legs are long on your mat. Lots of ways to do this. If a boat pose, it's a good core strengthening pose. If it's new to you, here's a way you could do it. Drop down to your forearms, elbows under your shoulders, forearms pressed into the ground, little bend in your legs. Maybe you lift one leg or the other, or lift them both up. Maybe you straighten them both and send them higher. You decide. Now, with the strap, if you would like, you could place the strap underneath your feet, sending your legs long, holding onto the strap like reins of a horse. The big thing here is keep your back nice and straight. Shoulders back, gazes forward. Lean into your boat pose. And lean on back as if you're sitting in a recliner, bringing your back to, 45 degrees. Elbows hugged in and hold. Little bend in your knees might feel good. I'm going to use the resistance band today. All right, placing the center of the resistance band under the feet. A lot like using the strap, but you got to really hold on here. Lean your shoulders back, lift your legs up, and hold. Breathe. Chest is lifted. Breathe. Little bend in your knees. Hold. So, not easy, is it? Breathe. Here. You got it. Now let's row this boat. All right? Little twist. Bring the strap into your right hand. Bring your right elbow back. Then bring it to your left hand and bring it back. Little bend in your knees might feel right. If you got the strap, maybe you're working them both, or the resistance band too. Maybe both straps in both hands being worked to the elbow, bringing it down toward the earth. You decide how you want to play with your variation in your little twist today. Breathe. Breathe. Little bend in your knees might feel right. You decide what you like. Finish up. Come on up to seated. Shoulders over your hips. Remove the strap. And then, or you could use the strap to pull both sides and hinge forward your torso over your thighs, like we did in a standing forward fold. Hands behind your calves if you like. Bend. fold. Let all the air come out of your belly to allow you to take this deeper. Breathe. Finish up. Shoulders over your hips. Maybe find your 2 yoga blocks. Let's get into the hips. All right, come on up to your knees. Now you can slip your towel. Maybe you got a big towel under both knees, or you can slip the towel under your left knee. We're gonna bring the right foot forward. We're gonna send the left leg long, press into your blocks because the ground has been brought up to you, and send your left leg long. All right, we're gonna play with this a little bit. You know this sequence. We go from a low lunge, then we surf it out. Then today we're gonna take it to that standing half splits and come to a high lunge. So we'll run through it 3 times on each side. So you get it by the 3rd time, then you'll wanna do it a 4th, all right? Okay, so left leg is long, hands to the blocks maybe, lengthen up here, right knee over right ankle, and then surf it out. Straighten the right leg, bring the blocks with you if you like, right toes up toward the sky, bringing your bottom back toward your left heels. Doesn't have to touch, but you do what is right for you. Surf it out a few times, letting the knee go forward of the ankle. Maybe you're still pressing into your blocks, or maybe you don't want to use the blocks today. Maybe just reach with parallel arms to the front of the room, and then draw it all back. Come have a seat toward your back left heel. Maybe hands at prayer center. You decide how you want to work this. Stretch it out a couple of times in taking this to your seated half splits. When you're ready, let's take and reintroduce the blocks if you want. Tuck your back left toes. You've surfed it out. Let's take it to a standing half splits. Weight into the right foot. Lift the left leg up. Gaze back to your knee. You can do away with the blocks if you want. Breathe here. Let the left foot come down and come into your high lunge. Bend in both knees. Arms go up. Take a little baby back bend. Then hands to prayer center. Drop to your knee. Let's surf it out. Reintroduce the blocks at any time that you want. Back foot goes into that plantar flexion. Hips go back. Right toes go up. Surf it out. Reach. Come back to standing with shoulders over the hips. Press the left toes into the mat. Straighten through the right leg. Send your back leg up to the sky. Breathe. Hands come down to either your blocks or your mat. Left foot plants. Back to your high lunge. Little baby back bend. Hands to prayer center. Back down to your back knee. Surf it out again. Hands wherever you want, to the ground, to the blocks, prayer center, reaching forward. You decide what feels right for you today. Finish up, back with shoulders over your hips. And when you're ready, press the weight into that right leg. Lift the left leg up to the sky. Hands to the ground for balance. Look back to your knee. Plant the left foot. Come into your high lunge. Nice big generous bend in both knees. Gaze back as you take a little baby back bend. Hands to prayer center down to that back knee. Right knee meets left. Switch it out. Other side. Left foot comes forward. Maybe reintroduce the blocks. Send your right leg long and straight on the mat. Stretch through it here. Lengthen through it here. Breathe. When you're ready, start to surf it out. Left knee straightens. Walk your bottom back to your right heel. Toes are lifted of the left foot. Bring it on forward and surf it out. Continue using the blocks if you like them, or put them away. Surf it out a few times. Let it feel right and good in your flexible, mobile, fantastic, one-of-a-kind body. Come back to shoulders over hips, tuck the back right toes, press the weight into your left leg, send the right leg high up to the sky, fingers to the blocks or to the earth or nothing at all. Plant the right foot, come on down to a high lunge, sink into the knees, arms are lifted, breathe, baby back bend, hands to prayer center, back down to that knee, back to surfing. You play with it how you like, with blocks, without. Find what feels you and makes you feel good. I'm going to take it back to the lunge, tucking the back toes, weight into the left leg, right leg lifts, arms down, maybe to the blocks or to the earth. Send the right leg high. Plant the right foot down. Come into your high lunge. Arms lift, maybe not much of a bend in your knees at all, or maybe a big bend in your knees. Little baby back bend. Hands back to prayer center. Drop to the back knee. Let's do it again. Surf it out however you like. Reach if you like. Couple of times. Remember, you don't have to go back very far at all. Shoulders over hips. Tuck the back toes. Weight into your left leg as it straightens up. Right leg goes back up the back wall. Hands come toward the earth, maybe touch it. Right foot comes down. High lunge. Baby back bend. Sink the knee down. One more time, I think I'll even us out. Hinge forward, hinge back, surf it out to the degree that feels awesome for you. Last one, shoulders over hips, tuck the back right toes, weight into the left leg, send the right leg up, hands come towards your mat, breathe, plant the back foot, come up to your variation of your high lunge, little baby back bend, hands to prayer center, down to your right knee, left knee meets right, take a little camel pose, hands to your low backs, squeeze your low back, squeeze your elbows together, breathe, look up, finish up, shoulders over hips, send your right leg forward, send your left leg to meet it as you come up to standing, and you come up to a standing position. Let's do some of our balancing. We did balancing, didn't we? So we combined our hips with balancing today. How did that work for you? Let me know. You know, you can join our group. It's a private Facebook group. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga. I also posted an article in there about core strength and how important it is for you. All right, let's do tree pose, Verkasana. Hands to prayer center, root into your left foot, weight out of the right. Open up the knee to the right side of the room. Place the heel of the right foot wherever is right for you. Maybe you've got a chair here for balance, it's all good. Place the sole of the foot, whatever speaks to you today, but just don't place the foot directly on the knee. You don't want the knee to bend sideways. Press the foot into the leg, leg into the foot, drive the outside of the knee to the back of the room. Lengthen up, gaze up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Hold your tree pose. You got it. Maybe grow your branches for an added balance challenge. It's up to you. Maybe a chair is really nice right here underneath your fingertips. After you've grown your branches, bring your hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room, but don't set it down. Have the knee at about hip height. Take your hands, interlace underneath your knee, high on the shin. Hold here, draw the toes up towards your shin and hold. Breathe. Come to your one-legged mountain, knee in line with the hip. Release your hands, arms go high. Here's your one-legged mountain. This was a challenge too. Breathe here. We did this a couple weeks ago. We balanced a block on our thigh. Just breathe, hold here, find strength in that standing leg. When you're ready, hands to prayer center, plant the right foot next to the left. Let's do the other side. Root into your right foot. Maybe keep your hands at prayer center. Take the weight out of the left leg and turn it to the side. Maybe the heel kickstands inside the right ankle. Breathe here, look up to your sky. Or take the variation of tree. It speaks to you today. Press the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. Hips are equidistant to the front of your room. Hands can stay at prayer center, use the chair, or grow your branches. Sway your branches. You got to be flexible to adapt, right? Be flexible so you don't break. That's what trees do. They bend so they don't break, and we got to do the same thing. All right, finish up. If you did your branches, bring them back to prayer center. Release the foot from the leg, but don't set it down. Bring the knee to the front of the room and hold it here. Knee is at hip height. Hold it right there. Hold it there and then add in your hands, interlaced fingers beneath your shin. Hold it here. You're tall, you're strong. Bring your shoulders more back over your hips. Hold it here. You got it. Keep that leg right where it is and then release your hands. Bring them on up to the sky. One-legged mountain. Hold here. Be strong here. Lengthen out of your side body. Lengthen out of your fingertips and the crown of your head. Breathe. Hold. You got it. You're strong. When you're ready, hands to prayer center. Let the left foot come down to meet the right on your mat. How did you like that? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Release your arms down by your sides and take that forward fold. All right, as you hinge forward, think of your navel going back to touch your spine. Maybe you're looking at your toes, your ankles, your knees are up towards your navel. Wiggle your toes. Make a comfortable stance here with your feet however far apart you like. Capture your calves, squeeze your elbows toward your knees, and fold forward. We're going to do this seated in a moment too. When you're ready, walk your hands forward and come into a downward facing dog. Down dog, your hands are on your mat, your feet step back. You're looking at your feet, they're about hip-width distance apart. Adjust your stance so your heels are slightly elevated, slightly lifted, about 4 inches. Press your hands into your mat. Look at your hands. They should be shoulder-width distance apart. Gaze back towards your feet and then start to pedal out your feet. As you do that, maybe look to your knees or up towards your navel as you let your head hang heavily. Shake your head, twist it, turn it, move it ever so slightly to allow the crown of your head to hang toward the earth. Pedal it out. Maybe hold one heel closer to the earth a little bit longer. Do it again. Tailbone high to the sky. Press hard into your hands. Decompress your entire spine and then shake your neck. No tension there. Still your heels, both heels, drive them toward the earth. When you're ready, put a bend in your knees and hinge forward and come into a bear plank or crouching tiger. Knees above the earth, shoulders are over your wrists. Press into your hands. Hold it right here. You can drop to your knees if you want to and grab a drink of water if you want. I'm going to hold this for a few seconds. Maybe you'd like to do the same. Just to, re-engage your core, challenge your balance. Breathe. Press into the earth. You're strong. Feel the strength in your back. Breathe. As you're ready, if you're not already there, come on down, have a seat. Bring your legs around to the front of your body and grab a drink of water. Legs are long. We did a couple seated or standing forward folds, and we're going to do a seated forward fold now. We can do it a couple different ways. We've done it before, you know this. All right, with your legs extended, toes up toward the sky, lift your arms like you did in our mountain arms pose. Breathe. Soften in your shoulders, and then hinge forward, reach forward. You know this, parallel arms reach. Reach maybe past your toes, or maybe close to your toes. Oh, I see I left my hula hoop here. It's so much fun. All right, breathe. And then look down to your knees. Maybe capture your feet, your calves, whatever you can reach. Hug the elbows in close to your body, and enjoy this little forward fold on the ground. Maybe bend in your knees, you decide. Eyes are closed as you imagine your forehead coming completely to your knees. Finish up, shoulders over your hips as you inhale. Cross your right leg over your left. Knees are on top of it, one knee's on top of the other. Lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, belly hollows out, parallel arms, reach, reach, reach. Gaze down to your upper knee. Maybe hands to your legs. Maybe work toward touching your nose to your knee, or close to it. Slowly come up, shoulders over your hips. Sweep your arms up, switch out your legs. Right leg was on top. Now it's going to be the bottom one. Cross the left leg over. Lengthen up here. Don't underestimate reaching through the fingertips. And then as you exhale the air out of your belly, reach parallel arms forward. Maybe reach them a little further forward. Reach. Maybe capture your calves. Maybe work your nose or your forehead toward your knee. Wherever you go, it's good. It's more than had you not come to your mat today at all. Breathe. Finish up, shoulders over your hips. One more time with the legs right beside each other. Heels are on your mat, toes drawn towards your shins. Lift out of your arms. Exhale, forward reach. Exhale, capture feet, hands, ankle, calves, whatever you can reach. Elbows hugged in, fold forward toward your knees. And then finish up. Shoulders over your hips. How are you doing? All right, let's come on down to your mat. You may want to have your strap nearby. Don't have to have it at all. And your blocks also at about shoulder height. Come down nice and slowly, maybe hands in prayer. As you know, your arms aren't going to help you here. You're going to use your strong core. Come to fully recline. Take it slowly. Core is strong. Try to avoid the clunk at the end. Come all the way down, a little bound angle pose. Bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Open up your knees wide. Maybe that feels really good. Maybe you would like to hike your heels up closer to your groin, or maybe you'd like to let your heels release a little bit away from the groin. Tee out your arms, and then bend your elbows, bringing your forearms parallel to the sides of your mat. Keep your low back plugged in. Keep the backs of your hands plugged in. In this little bound angle goddess-like pose. Big breath in and big breath out. How are you doing? Do you feel it in the inner thighs here, in your adductor muscles? Breathe. All right. Now you can use your strap here. You know how we do those strappy legs where you have one leg long and the other leg goes in like a rainbow arc over your body? We're going to do that, but I'm going to do it a little differently today. All right, if you want to stay here in this pose with your arms like in a cactus position, go ahead and stay here. And if you'd like to move on to something different, bring your arms on down, bring your knees back to the midline of your body, and then extend your left leg long. Plant your left calf in your mat, draw your toes up towards your shins. Hug your right knee in with interlaced fingers. Hug it in here. Now if you want to use your strap, you can be placing the strap underneath, the center of the strap underneath your right foot. And then you can extend the right leg long if you've got the strap. If you're going to do it without the strap today, like I am, just stay here and hold on and hug it tightly. If you're using the strap, you know how to switch it in your hands to guide the leg nice and long and straight across the midline of your body, reaching the big toe toward the earth, and then the pinky toe toward the earth on the other side, creating a half circle all across the top of your back, all across the top of your mat. Breathe. So go ahead and continue that if you're using the strap. If you're not using the strap, keep hugging this leg in. You're going to know why in just a second. Keep hugging it in. Find the mobility there. And when you're ready, take your right hand and capture the two peace fingers inside the big toe. Now send the leg high up to the sky. So you could be using the strap here, or your arms are as long as your legs. Bring the two peace fingers between the big toe and the other toes. Open up the right leg to the side of the room. Try to keep both hips and both shoulders down. Inhale, lift it on up. Ooh, using that core. Lift the leg high up to the sky. Let the right leg now fall to the left side of your body. Rolling onto your left hip, working the big toe as far as is comfortable toward the earth. Get your blocks out of the way, that would help. And then bring it on back up. And then open it up back to the starting side, the pinky edge side. Then lift it on up and bring it around to the other side. And you take it as far as feels right for you. Maybe the pinky toe and the big toe touch down to the earth, or maybe not. That's all right. Breathe. Finish up. Send the right leg high up to the sky. Release the fingers. Hug the right knee in one more time. Then send the right leg long. If you're using the strap, switch legs. If you're not using the strap, let's hang out here a little bit with the compression in the hip with hugging this left knee in. Interlaced fingers, hug underneath the knee. Soften in your shoulders. Really find space here in your hips. How do you like just using your toes? Lots of ways to do it. Maybe you tried the toes and went back to the strap. It's all right. It all works. As you're ready, couple more big breaths. Nice, tight, solid squeeze. Be mindful of your right leg. Keep it long. Drive the heel toward the bottom of your mat. Feel the length in your right hip there. Soften in your shoulders. And let's take the peace fingers of the left hand. Take your peace fingers, bring them between the big toe and the other toes. Send your leg high up to the sky. Kind of almost feels like a half happy baby, doesn't it? All right, work this however you want. Big toe first or little toe first, you decide. I'm going to open it up with the little toe to the left side of the room, keeping my right shoulder down, keeping my right hip down as best I can. And then bring the leg on up, strong core. Big toe, I'm going to bring that to the other side of the room. Breathe. Go back and forth a few times. 2, whatever works for you. Open it up, bring it on up, and bring it on down. And if you're using the strap, same thing. Just remember to transfer the strap in your hands to the other hand. I mean, you'll figure that out, obviously, because you'll need to do it to make it work. And when you're ready, we'll finish up, bringing the foot up to the sky, bend the left knee, and hug it in. Maybe ditch your strap, and maybe you'd like to hug your knees in too. Breathe. Now, you know it's going to be a really enjoyable pose now is your happy baby. Bend your right knee and bring your right knee up towards your right armpit and hug underneath your shin with your right hand. With the left hand under the left shin, same thing. Rock a little bit from side to side. Then maybe capture your heels. Oh, capturing the heels is a lot easier than capturing the toes, isn't it? And maybe you don't capture the heels, maybe you capture your calves. It's all good. Send one leg high up to the sky, then the other leg up to the sky. Put a bend back in the opposite knee. Breathe. Send both heels up to the sky and rock a little bit from side to side, and maybe open up the V shape in your legs, letting the pinky toes fall to the sides of your room. Breathe. And then finish. Bring your knees back to the midline. Put a bend in your knees. Plant the soles of your feet on your mat. You know what would feel really good here? I bet you could tell me. A bridge pose, right? All right, press into your feet. Lift your hips high up to the sky. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Lift your hips even higher. Then roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Find your 2 yoga blocks. Let's do fish pose. All right, so 2 blocks. You can bring them to your mat in the shape of a letter T, creating about 6 or 8 inches between the 2 blocks, because the horizontal block at the top is going to be a pillow for your head, and the vertical block at the bottom is going to be between your shoulders. You can place these blocks at whatever height seems to work best for you. No blocks at all, that's fine. You can come down to your back, and I'll talk you through in just a second. This, if you are using your blocks for your fish pose, you're going to have to adjust them. I mean, nobody ever gets it right the first time. The vertical block, adjust it so it's between your shoulder blades. You don't want your neck on it. Your bottom is totally on the ground. Don't have your bottom lifted off of the earth. If your bottom, you say, oh, I just can't get my bottom down, adjust the height of your blocks by bringing them lower. And if you still can't do that, come to fully reclined, and I'll talk you through that in a second. The head onto the other block. Open up your shoulders as if you're hugging the block from behind. Now you can kind of get the same sensation of hugging the block from behind like we did in our bridge pose when we wiggled our shoulders closer together. If you don't have the blocks or it's tough keeping your bottom down, just fully reclined, wiggle your shoulders towards your spine and think of the center of your chest lifting up to the sky. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Legs can be long on your mat Knees can be bent with the soles of your feet on your mat, or open them up like we did earlier, bringing the soles of your feet together to touch so your legs are almost like a little fishtail pose. Now, be comfortable here. Adjust your blocks as need be, but know that your spine is supported. You're encouraging the natural curvature of your low back. And breathe. That's why you want your bottom down. If your bottom is lifted, you're not in proper alignment in the pose and not getting the benefits of the pose. So it's about being safe, number one, and then the pose being effective, number two. And my third point is just have fun with it, enjoy it, and let it feel good for you in this moment. So you're hugging that block with your shoulders. Maybe it feels good to tee out your arms. Just play with what feels best for you today. And another option, it's not right for everybody, and I think one of the most sensitive areas of our body is our neck. So really be careful to protect your neck. Don't do it if it is not right for you. And only you know what is right for you. If you would like, you could lower the height of that block and let your neck hang back even farther. So this is opening up your chest. Whatever variation you're in, it's opening up your chest, creating more space, and allowing you to breathe more deeply. And my favorite thing here, it's improving your standing posture. You can always remove the head block if that is right for you. It's not right for everybody. Remember, know your neck, know your body. Don't ever hurt. Breathe in your variation of your fish pose. Soften your belly. Let it feel absolutely perfect and right for you. Anything less? Nope. Don't do it. Breathe. This is your supported fish pose. And we will do this longer on Saturday and on Thursday in our restorative yoga practice. But we won't do it on blocks. We'll do it on a bolster, so it is a little more comfortable. Just imagine your chest opening up. Imagine your chest lifting up to the sky. Now, you can stay here, or we're going to go into final Shavasana pose. You can make this be your final Shavasana pose, but make it more comfortable. Maybe reintroduce the block if you let it go on your head, but just make it more reasonable. Big breath in, big breath out. When you're ready, roll off the blocks one way or the other. Just roll off. Don't try to pull yourself up. Roll off of your blocks and come into your final Shavasana pose. All right. Oh, just the transition of getting here feels so good. Use your little eye shade or your hand towel to cover your eyes. Let your legs go long on your mat. Heels toward the edges. Eyes cover up. That fish pose really hit the spot for me. I hope it did for you too. So get comfortable in your final Shavasana pose. Maybe wiggle your shoulders a little bit. You want to be comfortable and just feel the mat beneath you. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Shoulders away from your ears. Wiggle your bottom, get your tailbone on your mat. Let your pinky toes fall toward the edges of the earth. Think back to when we did that band or the strap or the peace fingers when you did that arc over your body with your legs. Close your eyes. Deep breaths. No thoughts. Just your breath. It's just a few minutes. Really try. Focus on your breath. And breathe. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Eyes are heavy in their eye sockets. Shoulders are relaxed. Now hips are finally relaxed too. We did a lot with them. Take your deep breaths in and your deep breaths out. No thoughts, just your body. It worked hard. Let it rest and recover, and let your mind go too. Breathe deeply. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take another deep breath in and feel like you're back on those blocks again in your fish pose. Just really open up through your lungs. Feel the breathing out to the sides of your body. Exhale, let it all go. Stay longer here if you like. If you need to conclude your hour, start to wiggle your fingers and toes, then your wrists and your ankles. Separate your fingers and toes with a nice big spread, even the toes, spread them apart. And then squeeze the toes toward the sole of your foot and squeeze your fingertips toward your palms. Open them up, release nice and wide. And then circle the wrists and the ankles in every direction you can circle them. On an inhale, reach high up overhead. Let your palms be face up. Maybe bring the backs of your hands down to your mat, or not. You decide what works for you. Start to reach and slide one hand higher and closer to the top of your room than the other. Just stretch it out in your sides. Really point the toes toward the opposite direction. Breathe. And then finish up. Come back to a nice, relaxed, static stretch as if it were the first stretch of your morning. A little more of a stretch. As you exhale, bend your knees and your elbows and come into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Roll onto your hip. Low arms, bicep is a pillow for your heavy head. Let it all go. Top shoulder relaxes, eyes are closed. Savor this breath, this moment, right here, right now. If you're ready, when you're ready, you can press on up or use your core to get you on up to a seated position. Be comfortable in your seated position, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's crisscross legs, maybe your legs are extended long, you decide. Keep your eyes closed to just stay in this yoga moment. Hands to prayer center, thumbs to your chest. Lengthen up through your shoulders. You did fish pose. You are strong. You've got good posture. Send your shoulders back a little bit to the back of the room. Send your shoulders down a little bit to the earth. Tuck your chin slightly to your chest. Lengthen up through your spine. Nice and straight and supported you are. Big breath in. And big sighing breath out. Let it go. Blink your eyes open. You did it. And that hour went by quickly. I hope your hips feel really, really good. And I hope your shoulders feel really, really good too. All right, so my question to you is, what is your stress number? What was it then? What is it now? I'm sure it's a lot lower. That's a good thing. Go on with your day, and may this perfect peace be with you all day long. Bye. Hey, you want to come here? Piper. Piper, come. Come here. Come here. Why are you so quiet? Come on, let's go play. Come on, girl. Good girl. Good girl. Bye. Hey, you're still doing it. Good on you. You may think you got a long way to go to get where you want to be, but just take a moment and look back to where you started. Look back to when you first began your yoga. Look how far you have come. You are making progress. Continue to make that progress every single day. Share your progress with your friends. Tell them about our yoga. Have them do yoga too. They will feel better and they will have you to thank for it. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Take a moment, reflect on where you've been, but then set your sights on where you're going. See you on your mat tomorrow.